May 2020 Planetary Transits for Scorpio and Scorpio Rising. This is an equal house chart set up for 0 degrees Scorpio on the ascendant, Eastern Daylight Time, New York. We begin May 1st, 2020 with 2 planets in Capricorn in the 3rd house sector. Jupiter at 26 degrees Capricorn and Pluto at 24 degrees of Capricorn retrograde. The Sun is placed in the 7th house at 11 degrees of Taurus, along with the planet Uranus at 6 degrees and the planet Mercury also at 6 degrees. Venus is placed at 19 degrees of Gemini in the 8th house sector. Saturn is at 1 degree of Aquarius in the 4th house, with Mars at 21 degrees. Neptune is at 20 degrees of Pisces in the 5th house, and the Moon is in Leo in the 10th at 15 degrees. Overview. October 22nd through November 1st birth dates. Sun in Scorpio at 0 to 9 degrees. Mars in Pisces from mid-May to the end of the month is trine your Sun, giving you an extra boost of energy. At its best, Mars gives you the drive and the guts to make things happen. Saturn in Aquarius all month is making a square aspect to your Sun, especially for October 22nd to 25th birthdays and continuing until July 1st. This is an important testing period, asking you to define who you are and where you stand, especially in relation to career concerns. It also tests the validity of the choices you have made. On another level, take care of your health. This energy can lower your vitality, making you more susceptible to colds, chills, and flu. Adopting a new healthier diet and exercise regimen can go a long way toward keeping your resistance high. On top of that, psychologically, it can be fearful and depressing. Apply the antidote: Jupiter, positivism, and lots of laughter. The thing about Saturn in hard aspect to the Sun, everybody always complains about how overworked they feel and how tired they feel, and now they're not feeling well and they got chills and a cold. What I have found out, both in my own life and in the lives of others, is with Saturn Sun energies in hard aspect, it usually begins with feeling dispirited. In other words, feeling depressed, sometimes depressed over the blockage, depressed over perhaps criticism coming at you from the environment, especially superiors. Okay. And what I found under Saturn is once you permit the state of mind to sink, the body follows. So 9 times out of 10, if you can maintain a positive outlook, okay, under these Saturn energies, regardless of what's going on, regardless of the pressure, regardless of the overwork, or regardless of the criticism coming at you. If you can maintain the positivism, your health won't go down the tubes, okay? Transiting Uranus in Taurus in 2020 will impact the October 28th through November 1st birth dates of Scorpio by opposition aspect, indicating opportunities for big change and more than a few surprises, especially from partners. The nature of the opposition, okay, is relationship, okay? So chances are you'll draw in a relationship with one or more Uranians or Aquarians or people who have very strong 11th house energy, okay? And these relationships tend to be very, very exciting. But in opposition aspect, it's an either-or situation. They could be short-lived, but they always have tremendous value, all right? If you get a chance, check out my video on For Love and Money, the Uranus effect. It's For Love and Money, transits to your natal Venus, the Uranus effect. Even though it's talking about transiting Uranus hitting natal Venus, okay, the aspect of the opposition is Venus. It means relationship. So you can apply that to the transit of Uranus on the sun to get an idea of what the tendency is under these energies. November 2nd to November 11th birth dates, Sun in Scorpio at 10 degrees to 19 degrees. November 2nd and November 3rd birth dates will feel the impact of Uranus opposed the Sun in 2020. Get ready to rock and roll. In 2020, for November 7th through November 11th birth dates, transiting Pluto will impact the sidereal Sun. I repeat, sidereal Sun degree, not tropical zodiac, sidereal. Okay. Will impact the sidereal Sun, a signature of dramatic sweeping changes. You might want to check out my video uploaded at the end of August of 2019 entitled the Saturn-Pluto in hard aspect to the natal Sun. Okay. November 12th through November 21st birth dates, Sun in Scorpio at 20 degrees to 29 degrees. Mars will be in square aspect to your Sun during the first 2 weeks of May of 2020. Chill out. Temperamental explosions will not serve you. Transiting Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn will make a harmonious sextile to your Sun in 2020. November 13th through 17th birth dates will have Pluto sextile the Sun exactitude, and November 16th through November 21st births will have Saturn sextile the Sun at exactitude for most of 2020. Saturn sextile the Sun is a stabilizing influence, while Pluto sextile the Sun brings positive change and rewards for past efforts. Both these influences acting together may bring significant career opportunities. Remember, the nature of the sextile, the 60-degree angle, is opportunity. It also relates to communication, meaning you got to get out there, meet people, make contacts, or just stay in touch via email to find those opportunities. However, those born November 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th have the placement of their sidereal Sun receiving a square from Saturn from March 22nd through July 1st. This can manifest several ways. There could be a delay or obstacles to advancement temporarily. If recently promoted, this period could bring a testing time to ascertain whether or not you can handle the additional responsibilities. Whatever develops, you're apt to feel pressure to perform under this vibration, and your health may not be up to par. In the second section, where we are right now, these planetary aspects relate to day-to-day moods, day-to-day feelings and events. They're not as dramatic as the long-term transits, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, which we were just looking at, that tend to have very long-ranging effects and sweeping changes. This section of the reading, okay, relates to the kind of mood you're in on a day-to-day basis. You know, why on some days you wake up full of hope and of life and enthusiasm, and other days you feel like you got out of the wrong side of the bed and hit your head on the way out. Those moods have to do with these daily planetary transits. They're so subtle, you know, some of them, if you're not looking for them, you'll miss them, but they're valid just the same. They may last, depending on the planets involved, several hours on that particular day, a half a day, or maybe for the whole day. Here we go. On May 3rd, Venus square Neptune between houses 8 and 5 is an aspect of deception resulting in confusion. The information you receive on the mental plane may be at odds with what your gut feelings are telling you about a situation. On another level, do not permit any news you receive to activate your inherent fears. Your imagination may be in overdrive. The planet Mercury conjuncts the Sun on May 4th in your 7th house, bringing the possibility of good news. Expect this to be a busy day full of emails, phone calls, and text messages. May 7th brings the full moon, 6:46 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 17 degrees of Scorpio in opposition to the Sun at 17 degrees of Taurus, spanning houses 1 and 7, highlighting partnerships and the duties and responsibilities required to maintain a connection versus how much we owe to ourselves as individuals. The planet Neptune at 20 degrees of Pisces is aspecting this full moon harmoniously by trine and sextile, along with Mercury in Taurus at 20 degrees, making a conjunction and opposition. These are excellent energies to communicate, compromise, and iron out all issues between you and a partner, both personal and business. On May 9th, under Mercury trine Pluto, and on May 10th, under Mercury trine Jupiter, between houses 7 and 3, take this opportunity to communicate with partners and iron out the major issues between you. Expect favorable outcomes for everyone. The Sun in the 7th house, sextile Neptune in the 5th on May 10th, is a good day to reach out to loved ones in need. Your sensitivity and compassion is heightened. Also on May 10th, the planet Saturn turns retrograde at 1 degree of Aquarius. Mercury squares Mars on May 10th or 11th, depending on your location, between houses 7 and 4, and it's a frictional energy. Care is needed in how you communicate with others. Avoid harshness. On May 11th, the planet Mercury enters Gemini and moves into your 8th house. On May 12th, Mars enters Pisces and moves into your 5th house. The planet Venus turns retrograde on May 13th at 21 degrees of Gemini, and Jupiter turns retrograde on May 14th at 27 degrees of Capricorn. May 15th brings the Sun trine Pluto between houses 7 and 3, favoring all your relationships, business, personal, and familial. Sun trine Jupiter on May 17th, also between houses 7 and 3, is an expansive and optimistic vibration. Take a break from the usual routine and connect with others and go out and have some fun. On May 20th, a retrograde Venus square Neptune between houses 8 and 5 could indicate receiving communication from an old love from your past. It could open up buried feelings and emotions. Protect yourself and don't believe everything you hear. Also, on May 20th, the Sun enters Gemini and moves into your 8th house. May 22nd brings the new moon, 1:39 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 2 degrees of Gemini in the 8th house, highlighting joint finances and assets over the month ahead. Set up a new budget plan to follow. May 22nd is action-packed with 3 aspects that all indicate a focus on home and family concerns and joint finances. Sun trine Saturn between houses 8 and 4 and Mercury conjunct Venus in the 8th indicate favorable and harmonious discussions that lead to greater organization on the home front. Under Mercury square Neptune, however, some confusion is inevitable, usually due to not having all the facts upon which to base a decision. Best bet is to wait until you have greater clarity. Mars sextile Uranus on May 25th between houses 5 and 7 is a freedom aspect, meaning chances are you will be in the mood to break out, break free, and get away from routine duties and responsibilities. Since this energy involves the 5th house of loved ones and the 7th house of partners, don't try to go it alone, but connect with those you care about instead.